but like every other morning, today had been a rather busy one. Mr. Edno Labega, who is the point guard, the liaison between the government and SZV in the realization of the completion and moving into the new government building, has been trying to get in touch with me over the past few days. And finally this morning, my driver decided to take me straight there to a meeting before I come, as there were some urgent decisions to be made. While leaving there, I told them, well, it's hot from the press. And they said, well, no, don't show the pictures as yet. And I said, well, it's a work in progress. So as such, you will get the opportunity to see what possibly, and I say possibly because it is subject to change. I know one of the things that I had brought up are the trees, because we have a lot of complaints by citizens who say, you know, we are importing trees that are not indigenous to the island or to the region. We are bringing palm trees out of Florida rather than using our own trees. So the trees may move, may change, but this is at least the architect's proposal to which we need to take a final decision. This is probably a view of what the entrance and the lobby would be looking like. They've made a proposal for a mahogany-like entrance with a double door. So rather than opening the door, something like what you have at Windward Islands Bank, but not a security measure at this point in time, but more one where you keep the hot air out and once that door closes, but not that the one has to close for the other one to open. But this is sort of the rendition that is being proposed. And in the back, again, in the back of the reception area, we have a choice of either a picture of St. Martin or the picture of the coat of arms, for instance. That decision too, we would need to finalize quickly. This is an artist's impression of the picture. When you're looking, when you're on the inside of the building and you're looking now outside, this is what one would be looking at. And then one of the final pictures that I want to showcase here this morning would be, we have a huge drawing, but this is, one can see when we signed the agreement not too long ago, the Prime Minister himself was up on the excavator. But ever since, real operators have been working all day, and this is basically what they're working towards, the preparation of the parking area and the front of the building. We also have, it may have been lost, but if you look here at the fencing, the wall that we would have now, instead of a fence, a wired fence with barbed wire, we will have at least on 2 sides, but most likely on 3 sides. We are working on getting the cooperation of Nature Foundation to move the mangroves from around the pond. We are not killing them, we are not destroying them, but they will be, just like was in the case of the airport, relocated. Then we would have a beautiful fence on this side, the front for sure, and the facing the building, the fence on the right side. It would be a beautiful finished fence.
Life is a journey full of connections. You're in safe hands even when life starts too soon. You don't have to miss a single beat. When a bad hair day makes you sad, just sharing can bring you joy and more to come. They take the plunge, turn fear into faith, while you capture those beautiful moments. In the game of life, it's family that counts. They'll be there even when you lose. We all have our moments of reflection and hope. And when you feel you're losing everything in life, we're there because there's more to come. When life starts too soon, you don't have to miss a single beat. We're here to connect you and share life. Telcel, when you want.
Need a loan that's quick and easy. Island Finance. Up to 50,000 guineas real easy. Island Finance. For education, a renovation. That's no problem. Yes, it's true. That's not all. They're quick and friendly too. Island Finance. Appliances, vacations, even fix your car. You can depend on Island Finance.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Last few days, a story has been making headlines on Facebook and in newspapers. And just before I came here, I had detectives from the department, from the police department, who came to have a discussion with me about it. And it pertains to the story that appeared on Facebook by a citizen of St. Martin calling on the people to kill the Prime Minister and his family and friends and whatnot. Do I take this as a joke? No, absolutely not. I do not. I immediately contacted the Minister of Justice and asked him to look into the matter. What I wanted to address today, however, was for a moment, it crossed my mind to pick up the phone and try and get in touch with Koto, who not too long ago, several years ago, visited my home unknown to me, and it's nothing wrong with that. Koto's father and my mother were relatives, Koto's grandmother on his father's side, but he visited my home with a friend of his and was to illustrate to his friend how humble, I wasn't Prime Minister then, but how humble William Ireland and his family live, and that they are hospitable people, and that my wife was very friendly and outgoing, and offered him and his friend something to eat, which they did, and they drank, and he showed his friend that the rumors or the talks about William Ireland being arrogant and not being accessible and unlike others, he said, who live on top of hills with gates and you can't have access to them. He said William Ireland lives, he has no gate on his property. You can access him, you can visit his home. Time changes, of course. People can support whoever they want, whenever they want. But I think when we are attacking someone, we have to base our attack on the truth. Today, I showed an artist rendition, a proposal that is made. And if people see this and they say, we don't like whether it's the color, whether it's the pelicans, whether it's the palm trees, whether it's the bricks, they're basing it on a fact. What is the premise of the attack by Rene Wilson on the person, on the Prime Minister? One, that information reaching him indicates that the Prime Minister just submitted a proposal to postpone the elections of September. Absolutely not so. I have said in press briefings more than once, answering questions, that we will not change the date. We do not intend to change the date. After the resolution, the national decree was signed, we have entertained no such idea. The only time changing the date after September came up was when the leader of the UP party made the proposal that if we form a national government, we can change the date to election to September 18th, and he is fully supportive of that. I immediately reacted to that as well in here in a press briefing where I said categorically, no, we are not changing the date for an election. So if that is one of the reasons that triggered this angry reaction, then that is the message that I want communicated to Mr. Wilson and everybody else who jumped on the bandwagon to say, yes, we know, because I've seen a statement from somebody else who said, yeah, we know, I've been saying this from October, that this is the intention of the government, keep moving the date and moving the date. We changed the date that was there February 9th, and we said it made no sense, because if you really want to put a stop, or at least try to stop the phenomenon of SIP jumping, we would need more time to make changes to our constitution that allow some of these things to happen.
Oh my, what an inventory list, and so unnecessary. But wait, your home contents are all insured by Be Sure. That means that you determine the amount you want to insure. No inventory list, no hassle.
Are you be sure? Be sure.
Bob, I can understand why you're parking so carefully. Of course, when you can get 80% discount on your Be Sure car insurance. But that's overdoing it, Bob.
Are you be sure? Be sure.
Yeah!
Here we go. This is freedom, this is life. Happiness is all I'm seeking. Carpe diem, I'm seizing every day, not just the weekend. Here's to all the good times that have come to last. Here's to living in the now.
When you can afford what you crave, life just gets so good.
And I'm feeling good, so good, so good, so good. Hey, I hope I'm gonna live my life feeling good, so good, real good, so
KFC, so good for everyone.
These are the doors that never close. These are the hands that make a difference. These are the walls that could tell countless stories of helping and healing, of storms weathered, of change and growth, of a place where life begins, where hearts are mended, and where hope grows stronger. For more than a quarter of a century, the physicians, medical professionals, and staff of St. Martin Medical Center have combined advanced medical technology and compassionate care to bring a world of medicine to our friends, neighbors, and visitors to the island of St. Martin we all call home. As proud as we are of what we have accomplished, we believe there is still much work to do to continue a proud tradition of providing everyone in our community with the latest technology, the best medicine, and the most exceptional care. St. Martin Medical Center, celebrating 25 years of serving, caring, healing.
Premature? I do not believe so. The timing, because we are in an election year, and sadly it may be used as a pawn, whether to get or not get votes, maybe. Taking it to the polls and allowing the people to decide, brilliant. But that may have to be in a separate referendum election rather than included in the country's election. Good job on seeking the advice from medical experts and the medical use based on their level of knowledge and in dispensing such. Its use, at least. Some mini seminars delving into the possibilities of addiction to this herb, its medical form, its purest form, and outside of such, the dangers of combining the cannabis herb with drugs, since I no longer believe that the cannabis is any form of drug. After being educated, that is, abuse of every and anything that we choose to put into our bodies in its purest form and or combined with anything taken through the mouth, the veins, inhaled, can and definitely will result some type of negativity. However, it is my opinion that we start evolving with the rest of the world on how exactly we protect the health, the improvement of health of our people, man, woman, and child. Now, there are two aspects of this topic, and it should be clear, and it was mentioned by one of the presenters, that the recreational use of the herb can indeed be debated forever based on the way that it has been abused for years. However, as it pertains to the medical aspect of it, it is just as important to me as it is to shooting, theft, and anything else. You see, only who in the kitchen is who feels the heat. So clearly knowing that what I would like to consider my recent past, but up to Friday, have been suffering the side effects of that which is welcomed openly, and I'm knocking because I'm still thanking God for it. But up to last Friday, I have been suffering up from last Friday to today, I've been suffering of side effects. While I may wear it well and don't have to complain all the time, I give God glory for the cannabis form of medical, in its medical form. As far as recreational use, as with so many things that I am learning within our legislative situation, it conflicts because there's a certain amount of, whether it's grams, ounces, whatever. I'm not a marijuana. I never roll a blunt joint. I never take a toke, none of that stuff yet. I've inhaled medical marijuana through the pipe, the vaporizer. But there's a certain amount that once you're caught by the police with, that they let you go because it's okay for you to have that amount for personal use or consumption. However, obtaining that small amount for use and or consumption is against the law. So clearly there is a legislative responsibility that we have to address, among other things. That's just one. So to sit here and say that I am not going to be for, I'm not going to be against, it has to be investigated. Look, the real matter of the story here is it's happening every day. We are allowing people to walk the streets with a certain amount in their pockets, but they don't have a legal way to getting it. So indirectly, you're saying, go ahead and get it illegally. I am going to allow you to have it. If you're going to address the matter, then we're going to address the matter. I ain't going to even dance around this situation. As it pertains to its medical farm, I'm not going to be afraid to say that when it comes, once due diligence is done, once enough education is provided to our youth, to our schools, to our elders, to everybody, however it has to happen, once that education is provided, you could believe four. I can't say four one more time, because it's the medical aspect of this situation. I know a little girl, and I'm not going to put her name on blast, but I know of a child that has been out of school for going on 4 years. She made 18 years a couple days ago, and this child has been suffering from epilepsy. I know of someone else that suffers from epilepsy, that use all forms of medications. And the minute he starts using marijuana in its purest form, he's using it. I ain't even gonna be biased, but I'm sure if he uses the medical form just as with the Charlotte's Web case, I'm sure there will be healing. So I can't understand, and I will not get into whether or not I would be for or against something that can be healing to the body.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
The admission in terms of looking back and thinking how we did, and now today how we think. In fact, I remember when one of your informational evenings was organized some time ago, and someone was trying to convince me that for information's sake, I should attend. And the person, someone close to me, said to me, I am sure that when you think of the use of cannabis and other drugs, you see what used to be a very often shown picture for deterrent, and that is a brain being fried in a frying pan. So they said to me, I am sure when you think of cannabis and the discussion about legalizing or not, that's what you say to yourself. And it was partially true, that observation. However, given the global discussions that are taking place, that are raging actually all over the world, I guess many of my colleagues cannot help but to take note about all of the discussions for and against, and the very strong and passionate discussions, especially where the medicinal use of cannabis is concerned. I think all of us, while listening to all of the medical terms and etc., but would not have not felt a certain way when the documentary on that young girl was presented, and the mother of that young girl so very happy when that was the only drug actually that allowed the child to have some kind of life because of the epilepsy that she was a victim of. However, having stated that, your presentation and some of your proposals go out from a very sophisticated system. And that is where my concerns for this country, our country, come in. And I agree especially with the previous speakers and Dr. Lloyd Richardson in particular, that when it comes to that, because that's what is going to determine whether this comes back to hit us in the face, yes or no. How are we able to implement and control and monitor the system, whatever that system is, your proposal or another proposal? And then, having stated that, and that's where my concern is, having stated that, then the question would be, for a government, and surely for me, what would be, and this is not your problem, because you come with a particular case, a particular item, which you feel very strongly about. But in the case of government, and in my case in particular, the question that I have to ask myself is, what are our priorities? Because your proposal would require work, input, and capacity by government and government agencies. In fact, when some persons realized that this meeting was taking place, I received messages like, is that the priority of the government and the Parliament of St. Martin?